Thank you again, Mr. Woods, for being here with me on this beautiful Wednesday. No, look, I was about to say Wednesday, beautiful Thursday. Days are going by quick here. We almost in the month of November.
There you go.
I appreciate you coming on again, sharing your wisdom and information of your wealth of knowledge, especially during these times again where we said the economy is a little bit crazy with these interest rates, and so I'm aware that there's some new things coming along in the month of November, which is going to doing anything to try to help buyers going forward. And so I appreciate you being here and sharing again your thoughts about what's going on. How have you been?
Been good, been good. I mean, it's definitely a blessing to be here, and continue to do some things that we love to do, and that's, assist clients and, be a resource. I think that's, some large and attributes that are important, especially in, today's world.
Right, got you. Okay. Well, the big news that's getting ready to come out here, and hopefully we're kind of beating some of the information that's coming out, is this 95% LTV program
Correct,
for 1 to 4 units.
correct,
You know,
correct.
there's a big move here in Houston, and I'm not sure if any other parts of Texas, where we have developers building. I just shouldn't say developer, but we have builders building duplexes, triplexes, and fourplexes.
Correct.
And this is a big thing here because now this allows an individual to become an investor right away. They can either live in one of the units. I believe this program here is specifically for those who are looking to reside in one of the units.
Correct.
And so
Correct.
this is one of the fastest way that a buyer could become an investor and start participating and start gaining that wealth.
That's
Um,
correct. That's
and
correct.
so, would you be willing to share some more of that information with us now?
Yes, definitely. In the past, FHA has definitely been the tool, as far as a loan product, that's been used for 1 to 4 unit transactions for buyers to actually purchase and begin investing. And when I state purchase and invest in the same sentence and with the same transaction, they were purchasing to reside in a unit, and also began being an investor as having rental units, that they can gain income and qualify with potential rental income, with that particular transaction. And with that being said, what has happened before, a lot of people or a lot of clients, they have attempted to stay away for one reason or another for that from that particular style of transaction of an FHA financing. And you have to make sure that you remember, think about it, you have clients and or buyers that possibly could be in an FHA loan with their homestead. So looking at transitioning to a different property, that is a multi-unit property, was a little bit more difficult to accomplish that. Now, upcoming, Fannie Mae has released some information for the 2 to 4 unit, I'm sorry, 2 to 4 unit properties to be able to acquire those with as little as 5% down. Prior to that, I'm sorry, conventional and all conventional loans, you had a minimum of a 2 unit, was basically a 15% requirement down,
Oh,
prior to now. And then you had the 3 to 4 units, basically was a 25% minimum down payment. Again, now they have reduced it. And again, that is the agency of Fannie Mae. Freddie Mac, which is the other actual agency with the conventional product, is still consistent with those particular guidelines, and they have not made a move as of yet. But again, conventional financing will now allow 2 to 4 unit transactions to be completed if an actual individual is looking to purchase and live and reside in one. They can buy a multi-unit, 2 to 4 unit, with as little as 5% down and qualify with that potential rental income as well, and become an actual investor, which at the end of the day is what a lot of individuals are looking to, transition and create portfolios for wealth for them and, coming generations.
Man, this is some exciting news. So you're
Yes,
saying that an individual who's buying this particular type of property from 2 to 4 units,
yes.
they could use the projected rental income to qualify?
Yes, that's 100% correct.
Wow.
And before, FHA was the only one that would allow you to do it with more of that, 1 to 4 unit residing in one and using that rental income with that smaller amount of investment. And don't get me wrong, I mean, conventional has always had the availability to, well, the conventional product has always had the availability to use that potential income, but not as with as small of an investment
Right.
from the start. I think, and that's what the biggest piece of the puzzle is.
That's amazing because now the actual buyer doesn't have to put as much skin in the game as they did it previously.
Correct. That is correct.
And
And they can allocate for more dollars in regards to loan amount because that potential rental income can offset some current income that their 9 to 5 does not it would not provide.
wow, man, this is some exciting news. I think this is going to
Correct.
change the game here in Houston because
Yes.
one thing is that there has been a recent audience change
Mhm.
regarding the lot size of being able to build multifamily, a 4 unit on a certain size lot here. I believe now you can build a 4 unit lot dwelling on a 5,000 square foot lot. And so now we're talking about adding this particular program, this Fannie Mae product, to compete with FHA, where an individual can buy 2 to 4 units, which is awesome. So they can actually lease out the other units that they're not going to live in
Correct.
to help pay for their own unit.
Yes. Yes.
So
That's
depending
correct.
on where they're purchasing this at, and the rental income or the rental amounts in that area could be
Major.
large enough to offset their monthly payment.
Their own monthly payment. That is 100% correct.
I mean,
That's
this is
100%
crazy.
correct.
So they can
Yeah,
they can they can eventually be in this particular property paying less than what they would be where they currently are renting right now.
that is 100% correct. And so a good example that, an individual can use for one of these transactions and just and we're just throwing just numbers out to just have a feel to create an understanding. Let's say, for example, you have a client looking to purchase, and we have a 4 unit structure. Let's just use a number, $600,000 sales point. Okay.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
With them putting 5% down, I mean, depending on the tax rate, insurance, things of that nature, I would say you're looking at probably about maybe about a $4,800 note, $5,000 note. But you have to make sure that you remember these other 3 units that you're renting out. I mean, you can get at least $2,000 per month almost per unit, depending
Right.
on the size and the square footage of these units. Basically, you're taking care of the mortgage with the rents of your tenants. That's a part of that particular
It's crazy.
multifamily
Right.
structure. So it's a move that I think that's a shift that's making, because I know there has always been um, a lot of talk, because some individuals not as much of a fan of an actual government-backed loan as FHA, because there are a couple of things that will offset, and you have cons and pros when you're looking at these different loan products and tools that's used. But when you have this, you're going to have a lot more individuals that's looking to invest sooner than later.
Right. Right. And I think what's going to happen with this is that you're going to have a lot of young investors.
Correct. Correct. It's
Uh,
correct.
That's
Correct.
that's
Because they're going to see the benefit up front. I mean, it's, I
no
mean,
brainer.
open your eyes. Yeah, open your eyes. It's right there,
Right.
And
Right.
again, the examples that we're using, they're not, they're not hard examples that can be use to say, as far as a quote, but it's to give you an idea of what that may look like, to be able to paint a picture of what a projected a property of acquiring, and then what your obligation would be. I think it's going to be a great move for the market with rates increasing. You have to make sure that you remember we still have to find affordable housing, and that's still affordable housing for individuals that's still looking to rent $2,000. I think that's still reasonable for different markets of of the areas.
Right. And the
Hmm.
thing is too, this is also putting that particular homeowner that's this actual buyer in a
Hmm.
position
Hmm.
to there's look, rents are up right now.
Correct.
You have more rentals, people renting and buying.
That's correct.
And
That's
and
correct.
so and so this is almost a guaranteed way of having some one helping you pay that your current note, your payment. They are helping you build equity in your own home.
And but think about it. It's perfect timing for the rate volatility that we're dealing with.
Right.
If you have an actual individual that has put themselves in a position to be able to acquire a property with this style of product, and or in willing to pay that rate to understand what the investment and the return is, you're giving the opportunity to these other individuals that may not be in that position right now, and or still have a nice place to rent.
Right.
you know I mean, it's the timing is it's funny, but it's real. It's
Right.
real. Yeah,
Right.
it's real.
Let me ask you this, because
Yeah.
we've been talking about the LTV on this. Do you have an idea of what the credit score requirement would be on something like this right now?
Um, Actually, it's gonna be, I would say, gonna be the standard credit score requirement for conventional and Fannie Mae financing. That's not gonna change. So it's just the LTV has transitioned,
Gotcha.
if that makes sense. So, in the past, you would standardly say Fannie Mae prefers a 620 credit score when you're doing a transaction, but I would say it still could be the same.
Wow.
I wouldn't say should be too much higher, but the only thing about it, it's going to be more difficult um, when you're putting a little bit less down, because you still have to have MI.
Right.
MI still has guidelines, so there's still some things that have to work. It's not a slam dunk for every situation,
Right.
because there's still going to be some ifs and buts, and you still have to be able to fit
Right.
that particular
The box.
uh yeah, you're gonna have to fit the box for that particular, for this style of transaction. But we don't want to say that, okay, yeah, everybody with a 620 can put 5% down, because again, normally you can't get MI less than 660,
Correct.
you know, or 640. Really depends on how aggressive that particular mortgage insurance company is on giving the MI. And you have to have MI if you're not putting 20% down. So it's a give and take. I would standardly, say get with your local originator, to be able to work the scenario, to be able to confirm if your specific criteria fits this particular loan guidelines, to be able to confirm. But again, the important piece is, yes, 5%, 2 to 4 unit now will be allowed come upcoming next month. But again, you still have to have mortgage insurance, and you have to make sure that you remember that. And mortgage insurance still has separate guidelines from the home loan guidelines.
Awesome. Awesome. This is a game changer. Some great information. I believe this information would actually spread to the masses out here,
Correct.
because again, we are living in a time where, you know, again, we are in Houston, Texas, where our
Correct.
market is different from other markets in the USA.
Hmm.
And so we still have inventory, and we
Hmm.
still have people buying,
Correct.
and we have builders building. And again, like I said, some of the builders are building right now on these individual lots are multifamily housing. And this is a great program for multifamily products that are being built, and these are brand new. And so you're able to go out and purchase brand new, or if you may be able to find some existing multifamily. And again, this is 2 to 4 units. You know, we don't want to get anybody confused with that. This is still a traditional residential loan. Um,
Correct.
anything over 4 units will be considered commercial. So
Correct.
we're strictly talking about 2 to 4 units. So again, thank you for sharing this information, Mr. Woods. This is going to come out. This program is going to be available in the United States in the month of November.
Correct.
And so I believe, again, this is going to be something great to move forward going through the end of 2023 and moving into 2024 strong, coming out of the holiday season.
Correct.
Anything you want to share before we end this, Mr. Woods?
No, not at all, man. Just again, thank you for the opportunity, and definitely, just appreciate just being able to share the information because that's important.
Yeah,
You want to make sure that you have outlets that's accessible to gain the access to this information because it's information that needs to be shared.
perfect, perfect. Okay, again, guys, I'm Jesse Burton, your real estate consultant. I call myself the real estate extraordinaire here in the
Come on.
Houston, Texas area. And then we have Coy Woods, who is also a local lender here in the Houston, Texas area. And so you can find us on all of your social media outlets. Again, tune in on next time because we're going to continue to share this information, share some new information, and we'll always like to keep you educated and abreast on what the market is doing. So
There you
make
go.
sure you like and share this video, and we look forward to seeing you guys again real soon. All right, talk to you later.
All right. Y'all have a good one.